The last transmission from Titan-9 began with a trembling whisper that should not have reached any living ear. A lonely research station floated above the pale orange clouds of Saturn's largest moon. Crew of 5 routine scans, cold days, colder nights, nothing unusual, until the signal arrived. Not a message, not a distress call, a sound like a heartbeat vibrating through metal, soft, slow, impossible. Lena, the communications officer, was first to hear it. She thought it was interference from the magnetic storms below, but the heartbeat continued even when she disconnected the antenna. The sound was coming from inside the station. She walked down the narrow corridor. Lights flickered, air vents hummed off rhythm. Every step she took felt heavier. The heartbeat grew louder. As she moved toward the observation dome, the captain met her halfway, holding a tablet with shaken hands. He said only 3 words. Look at this. On the screen, an object hovered outside Titan-9, a sphere of black stone drifting silently in the upper atmosphere. No thrust, no rotation, no heat sensors. Said it was ancient, older than recorded human history, maybe older than Saturn itself. The crew gathered in the dome. Through the glass, they saw the sphere hovering inches above the storm clouds. The heartbeat pulsed again, not through the metal, not through the station, but inside their skulls. Rami, the science officer, tried to scan the sphere. Every scan shorted out systems, rebooted lights, dimmed the heartbeat, strengthened. It was not sound, it was communication. Lena felt pressure behind her eyes as images forced themselves into her thoughts. A star collapsing into a silent void, creatures shaped like folded shadows fleeing across galaxies. A predator moving through space, sensing every vibration, every signal, every spark of artificial life. An endless hunger. The sphere held memories of a civilization long gone, a civilization that fought the predator by erasing their own presence. They built silence into weapon and shield. They trapped their last hope inside this ancient orb and cast it into deep space. Now it drifted near Titan, waiting, hoping, searching for minds strong enough to hear. The crew staggered back as the dome glass frosted over. The sphere pressed closer, not touching, but pushing reality in ways none of them understood. Then the first crew member fell. He stopped moving, stopped breathing, frozen in place like a statue carved from pale stone, yet his eyes still flickered with faint dark light. The heartbeat inside the station steadied, one pulse for each life lost. The captain shouted for evacuation, but gravity shifted the floors, tilted the corridors, lengthened. The station itself seemed to fold like paper around them. Titan-9 was no longer above Titan. The sphere had pulled it into a pocket of space where time drifted like dust. One by one the crew heard voices, not loud, not clear, whispers from their own shadows stretching across the deck. Each shadow lifted and curled like smoke, taking shape. Long limbs, hollow faces, eyes like deep wells, the remnants of the ancient silence makers. They moved toward Lena and the captain, not with hostility, but with longing. They wanted connection, memory, a way to survive beyond the predator. The sphere pulsed. Once a wave of stillness spread through the chamber. The captain grabbed Lena's hand and whispered, if one of us stays, maybe the others can leave. The shadows paused as if listening, waiting. The sphere drifted closer to Lena. She felt something inside it, a call, not from monsters, from refugees, beings who had lost their worlds and drifted through endless dark. She stepped toward the orb, her mind split between fear and pity, between survival and surrender. The captain pulled her back. He stepped forward. Instead, he placed his hand on the surface of the sphere. His body froze instantly. His shadow rose slowly behind him, dry and tall. And watching the sphere released a burst of light. The station shuddered. Metal groaned. The pocket of warped space folded back into the real universe. Suddenly Titan's sky returned. The orange fog, the distant storms, the familiar pull of Saturn's gravity. Lena woke near the escape pod. Only 2 crew remained with her, shaken, barely breathing alive. They launched the pod. As it drifted away, they saw Titan-9 hanging motionless above the clouds. The sphere hovered inside the broken dome. The captain's frozen form stood beside it, his shadow now fully alive, guarding the ancient artifact. The pod monitors crackled. A final transmission leaked from the ruined station. A voice with no sound, a message formed without vibration. Do not fear the silent sky, fear what hunts us through it. Then the signal died. Titan-9 remained drifting endlessly above the clouds, a tomb, a warning, a prison for something older than the rings of Saturn. Lena looked back through the pod window. She saw the sphere pulse one last time, a heartbeat, a farewell, a promise. Humanity was not alone. It had never been alone. and something was still searching for them across the stars, following every transmission, every drive engine, every spark of human noise. The last transmission from Titan-9 was not a cry for help, it was a reminder. Silence is not empty, silence is hiding something, and one day the silence will break.